Bashers! Happy Speedy Tuesday, everybody. It is I, Dirk Weekdays, coming to you every single weekday except for Monday. And yesterday, we had the beautiful and lovely and talented Michaela Deshation, along with the big guy, Oisin O'Malley, back finally for Watch Fashion Police. It's been several weeks. She was a little under the weather. She's looking great. She's feeling great. And we're so grateful to have her back. So thanks for tuning in today. I hope you all here. Let's see who we got. First off, out of the bat, it's Andrew Wolkowicz, iBasher's cheerleader supreme, our mascot, with Canadian $10. I'm working till 5:30. However, everyone should enjoy the show and take the time to upvote, share, and subscribe. Please do so. It really helps out the channel. Don't hesitate to become a patron. Hey, that would be great too, because this is my job now, and I'm not very good at e-begging. I'm not very good at it. But let's start out with a bang, shall we? Thank you so much for that comment, Andrew. Always the first in the chat. Nick Sistos here. Angelo Minichello's here. Dean's here. Hey, Michaela de Chatillon is here. Hey, good evening, gorgeous. Good evening to you. We're so happy to have you back yesterday. How fun was it? We did a really long show yesterday. We did about an hour and a half. We went way over time. So much to talk about. So much fashion. I was gonna do it. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I was going to show everybody how to do a half Windsor and a full Windsor, otherwise known as a double Windsor, and a regular old Catholic boy. Some big horn just went off. How to tie a tie correctly and how to get that nice little dimple that so many of us love to have. It's just a perfect little finish when you're doing a tie. Oftentimes you'll see guys with a little bit of askew, a little bit of a fabric flap, and I'll show you how to avoid all those things. So I think I'll save that for next week. Maybe I'll do an Instagram tutorial on that. Very simple, but you know what? I went to Catholic school my entire life, so it's ingrained in my soul. Later on, though, I did learn how to do the Windsors because that was not part of my childhood parochial, outfit. We would just do the regular old 4-over. So maybe I'll do that. Good to see you in the room. Cashman's here. Carolyn Martin. Hello, Carolyn Martin. It's the lady with the wrench. Everybody loves Carolyn Martin. There she is. Anthony Chen says, hey, Dirk and Watch. Folks, the Omega Speedmaster 60th anniversary bond is available on the Omega website. I have that all queued up for us to watch. And as a matter of fact, why don't I queue that up right now? Interesting and true, because it is Speedy Tuesday. I've got my reduced on, as always, on my hairy paws. And there it is, looking great with its Hesselite crystal. And it's just so beautiful, the bracelet. I love wearing this. It is my daily driver, I will say. I do have a little love affair with the Seiko and, of course, the Milgauss. I baby her, and she lives mostly in her special pod from Mirage. And thank you again to the fine folks at Mirage and the ability to give away some of these beautiful watch rolls. And I still have 2 left, so you know what? That's coming up too. Maybe this week or maybe next week, because we did one last week, and that's been sent out. So I hope you received it. And so much for everybody for participating in the Dirk Weekdays giveaways. It's so fun to be able to do that. And it's so fun that you're all here every single day. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday is Watch Fashion Police, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is Dirk Weekdays. And then Friday with the big guy for Classic Bashers, where we drink wine and we just say a lot of crazy, stupid stuff. Mr. Mustang Rick said, great show last night, Dirk. You were spot on as usual. Well, I try my best. Hey, we can all make mistakes. I did forget about the Upper East Side shoes, and I'll reiterate next week because we're going to do part 2 next week because there was so much fashion to be had. Really and truly, there was. So I don't think we even scratched the surface. So let me present to you the watch in question. Here it is. Look at that. There's the Seamaster Diver 300M, 42 millimeters on steel with the Milanese bracelet, $8,300. And now you can add it to basket. What is that saying? This waitlist watch that is now available to purchase directly online. It's like Amazon. How crazy is that? And look at this thing. I love how the Wave looks far more like the original Seamaster 300M, the original Pierce Brosnan iteration. It's far closer to that than the most recent ones, even though I'm sure it's still laser etched. I just think its design is so much more beautiful. And now you can buy it for $8,300. That's a lot of money considering, but that's the back. I wish it didn't have that. I hate to say it. It's got the 8806 powering it up. Be very beautiful. And you know me, I don't love screws on watches. I've said this 1,000 times, but I kind of love the design back here. I just wish that wasn't there. And since I don't sell things, if I ever got one of those, I might consider removing that if at all possible. But look at that. You got to love the look of this. The lume on the bezel, the green at the 60. It's very cool. It's a very cool watch, and a very demure box in kind of like a dark green. I wonder if that doesn't really make much sense to me. I've never seen that box before. I do love this lume though. Holy macaroni. I think that looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let me take that off the screen so you guys can have a better shot at it. Let's look at a little video, shall we? Is there sound? Doesn't look like there's sound. Yeah, it's beautiful. That's a beautiful watch. I think the back is kitschy. Just not my favorite thing for. I know it's a special 60th anniversary edition and all that, but I just wish that wasn't on there. I don't mind it being on the movement though. On the bottom. I don't mind the gun barrels. That, ugh, God. Ugh. 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 Very cool. Now available to purchase if you want it. Isn't that even crazier? Now available to purchase directly on the website. That's nuts. We've got Dean with £1.99. Beware, I've sent you some X-rated photos. Dude, I just saw them. I don't know. There's ladies in the room. It's not X-rated. It's like various fruit in phallic displays. Beware. Thanks for the heads up, though. I appreciate that so very much. What do you get for that? You get the £1.99. Thank you so much for that. And we also have Nathaniel Hannon. Hey, the Omega Boutique texted me to buy this watch a few days ago. Well, they see you coming now with your solid gold Speedmaster Mister. You're the solid gold Speedmaster Mister now. So $4.99. Thank you so much for that. Let's give you like the other triangle guy, right? So it's crazy that that's available now, but I guess that's just the shape of the watch business right now. The bubbles bursted to some degree, and now I guess they, this waitlist is a waitlist no more. Let's see if that happens with the white dial Speedmaster. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. How funny is this? I just have to bring this up. Hardcore Shutterbug. They should make a special 70th anniversary of the Godzilla watch. Just want to let you know that this guy, Hardcore Shutterbug, is my friend Steve, who is my band's mascot and official photographer, and who, whenever we go on tour and play festivals all over the world, he comes with us. And he's just a special fella. And I guess that he's into all that kind of, he loves Godzilla. I don't know anything about Godzilla. I've seen the first one, and I don't watch those big crash bang boom movies. It's just not my thing. We were looking for a movie to watch the other day, and we watched The Station Agent, which is about a dwarf and a train station. That's kind of more my speed. So speaking of watches, the big news is, and let me present this to you now, that who was caught wearing the 5980 with the denim strap? Huh? Who was caught with it? I'll show you who was caught with it. Ladies and gentlemen, it was Mark Wahlberg. Can I start this thing? Yeah, look at this thing. Holy shit. This just goes to show you, all right, you got great abs. It's nice to know. And he's got a fully blue matching ensemble for his workouts, but he's got $200,000 on his wrist. And, he's got a bunch of other crazy watches that cost a shitload of money. I guess, how does this work exactly? So you're Mark Wahlberg, and I know if you're, Roger or John Mayer, and you've collaborated in some way, shape, or form. I mean, Roger doesn't have a model that is the Roger Federer, does he? But John Mayer has several models that are the John Mayer, and now he's with AP full on, full stop, and he co-designed that watch with them. And of course, we've seen him wearing it, which is absolutely crazy. But how does that work? Because he's so in, and he wears a lot of Rolex. Is it just he got the phone call, or his AD or his watch guy, a guy at the tech shop just dropped a line to his manager and said that this $200,000 watch, I'm estimating, I don't know how much that watch costs. I'm guessing it's crazy, crazy money. But I don't know how that works. If you want to take a better deep dive into that watch, here it is. Let's have a look at it because it's quite beautiful. Yeah. This is the watch. And here's some shots of it. I mean, really crazy. This is a video. Can we watch that? Is it going to let me see it? Come on. I hate when stuff doesn't work like this. All right. Back off, you. Back off. Hold on. There he goes. It's quite beautiful. It's white gold, right? Let's see what, let's take a deep look at this thing. That's exactly what it is. It's caliber CH 28-520 with a flyback chronograph, central chronograph hand, 60 minutes, 12-hour mono counter, and the date in the aperture. Opaline gray blue dial, horizontally embossed, blah, blah, blah. White gold hour markers and white luminescent coating. The case is white gold, 40.5 millimeters. Strap is calfskin hand day. This was the big thing. People weren't sure whether or not this watch was full denim, but it's not. It's like Omega does with a couple of their rubber options. It's calfskin on the skin and it's denim on the top, or it says hand-stitched denim pattern. I don't know if they've figured out a way to make leather look like denim, but I doubt it. I would imagine it's some kind of process where they glue it together or they stitch it together to make that happen. But this watch is crazy town, absolutely insane. And here's other models you can get if you're Mark Wahlberg, but you probably can't get them if you're not. That's all I have to say about that. I know that had nothing to do with you, Steve, but somebody's got to make a Godzilla watch. I'll look into it for you to find out, like, who out of the great horological watches make a Godzilla watch. I haven't seen one. I know that's, obviously with Omega, we've got Snoopy, and sometimes Woodstock and Timex makes them and a bunch of other ones, but I haven't yet seen a Godzilla edition. Maybe one of you guys in the chats have seen that. I have not. And Steve also wants to, does a $200,000 watch allow you to time travel? In some dimensions, it probably does. Carolyn Martin says that Patek calls no one. If you want to watch, you have to call them. Well, I don't think I don't know how that works with a guy like Mark Wahlberg. Can you tell me how that works? I'm not quite sure how it works, because that watch is not even out yet, technically, and he's wearing it. So he has to have some kind of relationship with Patek Philippe. And, when you're like, Mark Wahlberg was such a big star in the 90s, forget about the whole Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. He was nobody then. He was just underwear. And then as he became an actor, it took him a while to kind of get up the ladder of being an A-list actor. And then finally he's been firmly in that strata for quite a long time. And I like Mark Wahlberg. He's a cool dude, I think, for the most part. But his watch collection is so out of control. When people have that kind of money and that kind of privilege, listen, I'm not shopping for one of those right now. So I'm not like, I can't believe I didn't get the call. How come Patek Philippe doesn't call me when I want it? I'm not worried about me, but there are people who like Patek maniacs that probably want that watch dearly, and they'll never get it because they're going to see it on Mark and they're going to see it on The Rock, and privilege does play a part in that. John Mayer's not going to be wearing it because he's going to be pimping his model, which is crazy with the Stardust or whatever they've got going on there on that dial, and it's quite beautiful. It is. I mean, it's very garish, but it's AP. And he couldn't. It's funny how he goes from Fender to PRS guitars, which is a major step down. And then he goes from Rolex to AP, which is a major step up, regardless of what brands you're a fan of. I'm an Omega guy, so I'm not going to compare Omega to the Trinity in any way, shape, or form. Although I think probably Omega's had the most innovation as far as movements go, with George Daniels and the escapements and the coaxial stuff. I just think that Omega gives you way more bang for your buck. That's for sure. But not at price points that are just, there's a certain level of prestige that comes with these big brands. And I think Mark Wahlberg, as Catholic as he loves to be, goes to church every day, supposedly. And he's into this whole pre-Vatican II Latin Mass. He's into the old tenets of Catholicism and whatever floats your boat there, kiddo. And he doesn't seem to really shove it down people's throats. But, I mean, there's supposed to be a little bit more piousness about when you're a religious person, and he loves his bling bling, man, with his crazy shoes, and the watches are just out of control. Anyway, I like him a lot, so I'm not going to make a big deal about him. Scotty H, Lord H, yes, he has arrived, Sir Young. I like Donnie better ever since he was in Band of Brothers. Donnie Wahlberg's a nice enough guy. It's amazing he really got the. I don't think either of those guys is. I don't think Mark Wahlberg is especially handsome in any way. He's just insanely ripped. He's an all right looking guy, but he's in a completely different level when it comes to acting. And listen, I'm not worried about Donnie because Donnie was in one of the biggest boy bands of all time. And like I said in a couple of shows ago, I remember taking my nieces who were very young at the time. I took them to see his band, the New Kids on the Block. And he seems to be a very down-to-earth kind of guy, although he's married to Jenny McCarthy, and she's kind of a loudmouth. But I've never seen what kind of watches he wears. Does he wear some interesting watches, or is it just not his thing? I don't know. It's not my thing. I don't really get into the whole gossip of celebrities bullshit. It doesn't interest me at all. Let me see what this one is. Oh yeah, here's another close-up of this beauty. Let me share this. Look at this thing. Here's the funny thing I want everybody to notice on this. Ready? Do you think Patek Philippe, when they were shooting this obvious video, it's from them, that somebody would have cleaned up that bezel? Look how dirty it is. There's a big speck of dust. There's what looks like a fingerprint. I mean, you've got all these, the chamfered edges and all this stuff, and then it's just completely a mess. What the hell is going on there? What's going on with you, Patek Philippe? It's beautiful, though. I mean, I think that would be great for 20 grand. I mean, this is the nicest looking one. I've never been a big fan of the Nautilus. It's not my thing. The Genta shit doesn't do it for me, but this does. I just think this is the most beautiful one they've ever made. It's gorgeous. The color is incredible. Blah, 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 blah. Gashman says it's a stunner. It sure is a stunner. Absolutely beautiful. I was talking to the big guy earlier, and let me get rid of that. And he was telling me about something that I couldn't believe. And you all know the beautiful and talented Lydia O'Malley, who goes to school in Italy. She's an aspiring photographer, cinematographer, and I'm sure she's going to become an amazing director because the girl's eye is it's just some people have it and some people don't. As good an eye as I might think I have and Asheen thinks he has, it's like we are constantly spellbound by the things that girl comes up with. She's got incredible taste in cinema and shots, and she breaks things apart in a way that I think only, Kubricks and Spielbergs and Janusz Kaminskis and Storaros and people like that can do. She's got that kind of crazy talent. Well, anyway, she goes to college, and because Italy is currently under the administration of Meloni, and she's a bit of a fascista. She's trying to cut funding for the arts in colleges. She wants to completely obliterate it. So I'm going to do something as a gesture, and I suggest maybe all of you, if you're interested in the arts, especially you think about this, how in the world Italian culture I'm a big fan. Obviously, Yashin lives there, and Lydia is Italian. Um, it's arguable what culture gave the most art to the world in history. The Greeks may say this and blah blah blah, but I mean, I don't think anyone could ever come close to what the Italians have done with the Renaissance, and everything from Michelangelo to Da Vinci, and all the incredible artists that we've had. Their architecture, Palladio, it just doesn't end. It's a never-ending bouquet of nonstop attention to detail and beauty, and that is what the Italian culture has brought to the world. And they are trying to defund it, like very much happened decades ago, when a certain administration decided to defund the arts. And that's not just defunding uh, uh, the art programs for kids in grade schools. It is also defunding Juilliard and Peabody and all these incredible institutes and conservatories that are giving the world the next group of great artists, be it art, music, design, architecture, any of those things. And so I decided to share this with you today, and I'm going to sign the petition live. There's a petition to be had. And here it is. And the future is now. And this is, they've got 9,255 signatures so far. Is that up on the screen? Can everybody see it? Good. I'm not going to blow it up so I want you to be able to see exactly what I'm looking at the same time I'm looking at it. So, why this petition matters. And I'll just read this out for you. We loudly ask for solidarity and support for the 4 civic schools, the Cinema Lucchino Visconti, interpreters and translators Altiero Spinelli, music Claudio Adabo, and Teatro Paolo Grassi, centers of high education and educational excellence, which promote access to artistic, cultural, and creative based on merit and not on wealth. Key thing. Since 2000, the 4 schools have been united in the Fondazione Milano, participatory body of the municipality of Milan, and it's the only member. So basically what they're doing is they're trying to defund these schools through the government. So they're doing a big petition, as the Italians are famous for striking, and they're famous for standing up for their rights. And this is at change.org. And they are looking for people to sign up. And I'm going to let me put the link on there while I'm at it. Carolyn Martin says, the arts are what keep us civilized. I could not agree more. Yeah. John Doe says, the Italians are right out there at the top with the preservation of the art. It's unlike anywhere else. It absolutely and truly is. Now, the current situation with our government in New York State is the current governor that we have. She is actively stopping buildings from becoming landmarks because she is actively trying to sell off properties to foreign entities to create and stir up economy bottom lines. The Pennsylvania Hotel, built by Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill, directly across from what is sadly now Madison Square Garden, the world's most tragic arena. In its place before it stood the incredible Penn Station, the most beautiful building ever built in the Western world. It looked like the Great Baths of Rome. It was absolutely incredible. And that was knocked down only like 60 years after it was built because they wanted the real estate for development. And they put the trains all underground and they covered it up with concrete and put that big, giant, round, kind of shitty sounding arena that everybody says is the great. Yeah, I've never played there, but I think Oshin's played there. I know Emmett's played there many times with Enrique Iglesias. It's kind of an aspirational place for people to play. And I used to think that when I was a kid, because I've been to a million shows there. But as I became an adult and became a lover of architecture and the arts, every time I pass it, it saddens me. It's just this modern concrete, crappy slab with a really horrible international style building attached to it, not worth the pavement it's built upon. So anyway, let me put this up. If you are interested at all in joining me in this wonderful endeavor, you can find it here. www.change.org, blah, 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 and all the other things. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sign this live on the show. So my name is Dirk. My last name is Kennedy, right? As you all know. And it's Basherdirk at gmail.com. At gmail.com. And I'm signing the petition because I can't imagine a world where Italians aren't allowed to get access to incredible artistic educations, and why in the world a woman like that. Hopefully this is, when she got put into office, everybody said, the Italians mostly said, oh, she'll last a couple of months and she'll be out of there. Well, she's still there. And maybe this will be the one thing that does her in, because it's really crappy. So I'm signing it. And you can too, if you just hit that link right down there. Thanks so much for your time in this public service announcement. Dave F4 Fahrenheit 451 says, I'll be glad to sign the petition if they bring back Sherman and Mr. Peabody. That's an American reference. I don't think anybody else got there, right? Hey, Rufus is saying the last repair shop Oscar-winning documentary, Bringing Instruments to Kids. Now I have meant to watch that because I see that it's available and I would love to see it. Yes, I'm just reading some comments here that I'm not going to report upon because it's crazy. It's like Gashman says that Italy is the world's museum, right? That's very, very true. Conrad Julian says, I shouldn't call someone whose policies I disagree with. It's not policies I disagree with. I'm not Italian. Italians call her a fascist. She calls herself a fascist. And isn't she part of the fascist party? So I'm not calling her anything she doesn't call herself. So that. Yeah, so try that out. If you want to give that a shot, I'd appreciate it. And Lydia would appreciate it. And all the inspiring great artists to come. All like I said before, the Kubricks and the Spielbergs and the Storaros and all the great cinematographers and artists, actors. I know everybody loves to yell at actors for all their political shit, and that's fine. But without great acting, we wouldn't have great cinema. And we need that too. Yeah, maybe you want them to shut up just a little bit, and that's fine. I do too sometimes. Sometimes I just think like, shut up and act. But for the most part, I appreciate the craft very, very much. And that's why I still have BritBox. That's why. Nathaniel Hannon, $1.99. Pre-Vatican II liturgical forms were very blingy. I will tell you a quick little story here. Now, John, who plays in my band Hitman, his son, somehow, some way, they grew up Catholic. His mom's Jewish, and his dad is Italian Catholic. His family's from Sicily, and they raised him Catholic because John's mother said, "Over my dead body." So the kids were raised pretty, in a very American kind of Catholic, removed Catholic way. Anyway, somehow in his adult journey, he wound up in a town in Long Island that had a church that was very pre-Vatican II, and he got involved and he started going to services there. He met the guy from the King of Queens. Sometimes I can't remember people's names. That actor, he's a member there, and he became very friendly with him. And he introduced him to a girl whom he married. And I went to their service, and I will say, blingy is not the word for it. It was a daytime service. If it was at night, it would have been all candlelit and amazing, but it was all in Latin, and the priests were facing the altar. And it was a very interesting, and it was, 2.5 hours long. It was the longest service I've ever sat there. And I'm a ex-altar boy, and I'm not going to say I considered being a priest, but I kind of did when I was young, and then I went, hell no. But I was very involved in the church as a kid, and the longest services were like midnight mass and the Easter Vigil, and those were the longest ones because the mass is usually an hour and 15, depending on it. And somehow he got involved in that. So I've had a little bit of exposure to this whole pre-Vatican II thing. And it is a movement in America, and it is not sanctioned by the Vatican. So my question is, who pays all the bills there? The parishioners? Is it in the basket every week? Because you can't be part of a diocese, right? Nathaniel, that's a good question I need to ask you. And I know this is on a Catholic tangent, but it's interesting. All religions are interesting and their intricacies. So Nathaniel, if a church is no longer subscribing to the current uh, program, how do they subsidize themselves? Is it strictly through parishioners? And also, they can't be part of a diocese, as I was told, which I find very, very interesting. I don't know how that works. Hardcore Shutterbug says Father Dirk only on Halloween. Rufus, the $3.99 super sticker. Let's give you the vibrating gong. Yabba dabba do, Rufus. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Melly C. Kevin James. See, it's like simple things like that. That's what happens when you get into your 50s. You just start going, oh, what's that girl's name? She's an actress. She was Richard Gere. Oh, Julia Roberts. Like somebody like that you can't remember. But I'll remember, Vittorio Storaro off the top of my head. Like crazy things like that. An interesting thing about cinema is, and a lot of people don't talk about that, and I think you guys are all smart and interesting and artsy and all of those things. Is anybody familiar? Like when you go to see a movie, for example, like I just recently watched the entirety of the new Ripley, which starts off very, very slowly, understood. But it delves slowly into the story, and it's so beautifully shot that I mean to look up to find out who the cinematographer is on that. And very few people use film anymore, just the big guys that saved Kodak, like Tarantino, and for the most part, Martin Scorsese, Christopher Nolan uses film, Spielberg uses film. There's a couple of guys out there that refuse to let film die. And it's just so much cheaper and so much easier to go digital. It's like the same thing with recording records and all those things, the digital age using a digital camera. My dear friend over here, Mr. Hardcore Shutterbug, is shooting stuff with his iPhone now. And he used to have a big camera around his neck for the longest time. And what happens? You eventually concede and you give in and you start using the digital technology because it's compact and it's, the pictures on iPhones and those crazy Samsung things, they look really, really good. And I heard Huawei and all these other brands that are amazing. You start using your iPhone. Like I see Steve at the shows all the time with his phone. I used to remember him with the big lenses and all that stuff. My friend Larry Morano is one of the biggest live rock photographers. I grew up with him. He's been my friend since I'm probably 11. And he still uses it, but he's shooting like, digital. It's all digital now. And then I asked him about film and he's like, I would love to, but what's the point, Nathaniel Hannon, super chat, $10. Woo! If a parish has explicitly excluded itself from a diocese, then yes, parishioners are paying all the bills. But there are plenty using pre-Vatican II liturgy that are in full communion with their diocese. How could that be? First of all, and this is going to bore the shit out of you, but here we are. Like as a guy that knows a mass upside down, as I always did, they changed it all years ago. They changed it, made it all kumbaya and changed the whole way you do stuff. And I don't even know how it goes anymore. And I noticed that all the churches and weddings and masses and things that I've had to go to all subscribe to that exact wording for responses and all those things. And like they have to, because it's part of the Vatican edict. But this place that's in Latin and, it's crazy. So they're allowed to do that, huh? That's nuts. What am I giving you for that? I'm going to give you, what I'm going to do? Because you just blew our minds. Super chat. Nathaniel Hannon, that's the guy that I always have to ask when I have questions about my own religion. And Steve says he still shoots with his I haven't seen you with your SLR at all. I haven't seen it. I've seen you with a phone, and I see the way I actually have pictures of you all over Europe framing your phone. Nathaniel Hannon also says Vatican II did not invalidate previous liturgical forms. All you need is permission from the bishop. Hey, wow. Steven Soderbergh, Rufus says, Steven Soderbergh shot high-flying birds on the iPhone. I know High-Flying Birds is the name of Noel Gallagher's solo band, but is that a movie? Should I look that up real quick? Hold on a second. High-Flying Birds. See, that's the first thing that comes up is, I have to write in Soderbergh, right? Is that a movie? Oh, High Flying Bird. Did you say bird? You said birds. Okay, so it's bird. Andre Holland. Look at that. Oh, yeah, look, there's a picture of him shooting it on an iPhone. Holy cow. I don't know if that's an iPhone. Hold on a second. Let me pull that up. Not debunking you or any of that. I would never. But here you go. That's interesting what he's got going on there. Huh. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It almost looks like the screen on the back of a digital Hasselblad, because it's like kind of a, was it? Actually, it looks like it's 4x4. I'm fascinated. Do people care? Like I know, I posted some very, very provocative things apparently to some people on my Instagram and Facebook. Not that I use Facebook anymore, because I think it's for idiots. And it's for people who are just like, I love Trump and I love Biden. And it's all the political, it's all whiny 65-year-old white people yelling about get off my lawn. And it actually started to make me dislike people who I love, and that's a problem. So I decided to just walk away. But I posted this thing that there's a guy on a website, and he just shows everybody how, autotune's being used so bizarrely. And, it's on everything. And so he started a change.org kind of thing too, about how he thinks that albums should be labeled if you are changing the vocals, if you're manipulating the singing and putting everything in tune, perfectly. He thinks it should be labeled, and I don't disagree with that, because I think there should be a separate category for people who are up for Grammy Awards that win Best Vocal, and that vocal's been completely tuned. I don't see how that is how that should be allowed if it's manipulated. There's so many other examples. You're not allowed to use steroids in the Olympics or in the MLB or any major sport. It's illegal. The Tour de France. So why should you be allowed to win artistic achievement awards? And I've pontificated about this so much, and I know it bores people, but like a lot of people just don't care if they hear a song and they like it, and that's fine. Enjoy the song, like the song, it's been tuned, knock yourself out. But I don't think those people should be winning Grammy Awards for best pop vocal, unless we're now describing pop as digitally manipulated. I have no problem with small tweaks, just like an editor in a film would do, or like back in the day when you were working on tape in the studio. I'll never forget that I did a performance once that it was really good, but the note was a little bit slightly sharp at the end, and I was like, I'll sing it again. And this amazing engineer, Bob St. John, who we work with and still do, said, no, just give me a second. And he did something on his watch, and then he did something with the tape, and he bounced it. He slowed the tape down to a specific speed, and then he bounced it, and then the note was just the tail end, and he fixed it. So it's been happening for years, but it's very rare that somebody's so adept at that skill that they did it. It wasn't rampant. Now it's just, you just see it on a screen and you fix it. Do you think people should win those awards? Here's a poll. I don't have the cool visuals that I could stick up on the screen like some people can. Do you think people should be allowed to win awards based on the merits of their work that has been digitally manipulated. I, for myself, would much rather hear, and I have a very big problem with things that are out of tune. When I hear it, it hurts my soul. And here's another thing that I noticed, and then I'll get into viewer pictures and all that stuff, and more about you than me. When they tune vocals on a track, people don't realize that those instruments, like for example, can I grab one here? So you grab a guitar, right? My invisible, right? So it's out of tune, right? You get, no, it's almost in tune. So you put a guitar in tune, and then the singer who's singing along with your track, with the instrumentation that you just played, is going to sing in that tonic. They're going to sing to how that sounds. Then when they tune the vocal to make it perfectly to the scale and the the A440 or whatever the natural pitch is, standard pitch, that's what that's called, standard tuning. It's not going to be in tune with that guitar anymore, because the second a guitar player frets a note, it goes slightly sharp or flat, ever so slightly. So when they're playing big chords, it's not going to be perfectly in tune. It's going to sound in tune for the most part, but now that perfect vocal is actually going to be slightly like anti-aliasing with the actual recorded thing. And I hear that because of the way my brain works. And when I hear that, I can instantly tell that something's wrong, because it feels like sandpaper to me. Anyway, nobody's saying anything. Anyway, does anybody think that people should win Grammy Awards for auto-tuned vocals? Or do you think it's just fine? Your choice. Steve McDonald, £4.99. Sugar on Apple TV has amazing. I can't wait. That's actually it's number one for me for my next show. I just started. Somebody told me there was a fun show called Girls 5 Eva, which is written by the Tina Fey's gang, and her husband does the music, and it's with Paula Pell and that hilarious. I forget her name, Renee something Goldstone. Goldberry, the one that was in the parody of documentary now for Co-op. So it's amazing talent in it, and it's mostly funny, but it's not 30 Rock. It's not that great. Thank you so much for that, Steve. I'm going to watch that. Actually, I think I'm going to start it tonight. Let's give you a big gong. We all know that's the best gong, right? It definitely is. I think it is. Hey, Des Farrell. Des Farrell. I'm overly excited about the watch box I won last week. Anticipation too much. I need to watch, but you didn't send me your address, kiddo. Dude, here, hold on. Here it is right now. And I looked everywhere to see if you'd sent it to me before. He sent it to me. Bashtardirk@gmail.com. Where is it? I had it on my desk. I probably put it. So here it is, the exact watch box you're going to be getting. I have my beautiful Tobster edition of my Seiko with the beautiful blue dial and the orange hands. It comes in this beautiful leather pouch with Alcantara insides. It's absolutely beautiful. It's slotted. It's great. This one, you're getting the black one just like it. I also have the green one, which you won't be able to see. I know it looks black. This is a green one. Wow, look, it doesn't look like that. Which my Milgau sits in. My beautiful Millie. She sits in there. Look at that. It's gray inside. Some of them have contrast. I can't know because it doesn't say on the box whether it's black and gray or black on black, but one of them is yours. So Bashtardirk@gmail.com. That's how you get a hold of me, Mr. Farrell. Des Farrell, you got to send me your address, and I'm totally going to send you. It'll be tomorrow. I've been waiting. So please send that to me. And for that, because you won last week and then you kind of vanished on me, man. You kind of took off. I'm going to give you that. The huge super chat. Thank you, Des, for showing up. And I'm very happy to send that out to you immediately, monsieur. Carolyn Martin says, my husband says absolutely not about auto-tune. Yeah. Vaughn says, auto-tune bastards. Melly C says, no, definitely not. Angela says, no, they shouldn't. Vaughn says, no awards. Here's Daz Davies. Hey, Daz Davies. We're all good. How are you? Dave Fahrenheit 451 says autotune should win the awards. I know you're being facetious. It's disingenuous to reward talent that is enhanced. That's my thing. And like, I have no problem if it's a good record. It could be record of the year, because record of the year just means how it was made, how it was written, how it was assembled. Great engineers can maybe make a vocal sound fantastic, but for the most part, it was all predicated on a performance that Kelly Clarkson did on her talk show. Kelly Clarkson, if you don't know who she is, you probably do. She won American Idol the very first time, but I think she's become a big international star enough for everybody to know who she is. An absolutely fantastic singer. Doesn't need autotune. Doesn't need any of that crap. She recently started a US talk show. It's actually kind of, endearing and lovely, and she's so sweet. She lost a lot of weight. She looks amazing. So she sang Over the Rainbow, one of the most beautiful songs ever written, and sang by probably the greatest singer of all time. And this guy on this website called Wings of Pegasus, this guy Phil, who I absolutely love. I watch his channel all the time. It's called Wings of Pegasus on the YouTube networks. And he was so excited because, people take that song and they generally embellish the shit out of it and ruin it. And they put runs in it, all this melismatic crap. And it's such a beautiful song. It's got such a beautiful melody. It's such a beautiful lyric. It's got beautiful intervals in it. Everything about that song is magical. And people have ruined it, like Patti LaBelle and Sam Harris and whoever else, Celine, whoever gets their hands on it. It's just too much singing. Anyway, she sang it beautifully, and then he showed it on the show when he put it up, and then you could see every single note was pinned, like glued to the line, because somebody went in there. She went and sang it live on her show, and then in post-production before they aired, it's not a live show, the engineers tuned it. I'm sure it has not much to do with her. I don't know if she's aware of it. I would assume she probably is. But I didn't think she was that type of singer to do it. Anyway, that's what started the whole thing, because it's so deceiving, because everybody's like, oh my God, it's better than Judy Garland. And then he put up Judy Garland's, and you know what? It was all over the place. It was the most beautiful, glorious vocal ever, and it was totally not in tune. So that's all I have to say. So Shane McGee says, is Des getting the watch as well? Now, this is my Tobster McDonkey edition. Tobes gave me this watch. I'll give you a better view of it, right? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful Seiko. It's really great. And I wear it a lot. I mean, the Speedmaster is my daily driver, as you all know, because I'm an Omega man. I'm a Speedy guy, and that's how it goes. Des says, that's weird. I may not have been entirely sober when I sent the email. Well, you were sober enough to win, Des. You were sober enough to be the first guy on the button to say 1999, which was the answer of when did I go visit my friend Mary in Portugal? Because that same year I went to Italy, and then I went to Portugal first, and then Spain, and then we went to Italy later in that year. But it was my friend Mary had a beautiful villa in the south of Portugal in a place called Quinto do Lago in the Algarve. And it was a magical place, and it was a great time. And she has since sold it and moved on, which is a shame, because she showed me years ago pictures of like some German tourists bought it, and it was a beautiful like hacienda. It looked like it was one level, but it was two, because the second was set back behind these beautiful kind of hidden balconies. They leveled her house and they built like a gingerbread house, and they ruined it. What a shame. Jose B says, a great song is a great song, only if the song doesn't have a bridge. It doesn't qualify. Isn't it? You know what song doesn't have a bridge? I am a lineman for the county. Wichita Lineman, one of the greatest songs ever written, doesn't have a bridge. I'm a bridge guy too. I love great bridges. I have a whole list of songs that are my favorite bridges, because a bridge takes you somewhere else. For our European counterparts, that's the middle eight that you might know. Americans tend to call it the bridge. Generally, there's either a key change or a tempo change. It's a mood change. It's a mood. Usually it's supposed to lift you up or bring you down. And it's certainly, there's an art to writing bridges, and some people have a better knack at it than others. My favorite bridge of all time is by the Partridge Family, and it's a song called I Woke Up in Love This Morning. That's the one that goes, I woke up in love this morning. And the bridge is, do dreams come true? Well, if they do, I have you. Beautiful arrangement with lush singers. and amazing strings and stuff. There's so many great bridges in the world. I could do a whole show on bridges, but I agree with you. But I think a great song, if you have a great song and it's got a very, very mechanical sounding vocal on it, then I think best auto-tuned vocal, I think it could be up for best record of the year because I think it encompasses a lot of other things, including the technical achievements. But I don't think best pop vocal should ever be allowed to be auto-tuned. And just about every single one that's been winning the last couple of years is, very, very, very true. Han says, take it to the bridge. Anyway, have you listened to T-Pain sing a melody of his hits without autotune? Dude, I have. He's an amazing singer. He's an incredible singer. But listen, he made his fortune on autotune. But that was when autotune was like right after Cher. Nobody had done that yet, right? So it was fine. I mean, that kind of music is not my thing at all. When I heard that guy sing, I was blown to smithereens because he's a beautiful, soulful, wonderful, and he seems like such a terrific guy too. He just, it's like a distorted guitar before, before Jimi Hendrix, who had that first fuzzy tone, all these other guys were just cranking up their amps to get that actual natural distortion where the speakers would start to break up that tone. And then later on, we got all these little boxes. Those little things are enhancements. You still have to really be able to play a guitar, but you cannot actually tune vocal cords. After the fact, you can. So it's all post-production. It's not the performance that you hear on the record nowadays is not the performance that person gave in the studio. For the most part, there are people that claim that they don't do it. Pink claims that she doesn't do it. Who else claims she doesn't do it? Adele said she doesn't allow it, and I believe that because, man, she could sing the phone book. Pink, I think, is a very underrated singer. There's a lot of people out there that say no autotune. Maybe they should write no autotune on the back of their records if they're proud of the performance that they gave. I'm sorry to beat a dead horse, and I don't want to sound like an old farty old man. And I know a lot of people think that I do sound that way, but it's like, I've been a singer my whole life, and you know what? Whenever other than that one thing that I told you, I've been told to do it again. And I record myself here in the studio, and if I sing it flat, I just sing it over again. And I know how to use Melodyne. It's not on my system anymore, but I used to use it when I recorded other people, and they weren't that good. And I would fix it because it just made them happy, and they weren't going to be winning Grammy Awards. Dan Hartman's. Oh, I owe you. I don't want to miss that out. Jose B. Thank you for that so much. $5, and that is so nice of you. Let's give you a gong. Thank you, and welcome to the channel. And your comments are bright and interesting, and I agree. And I love T-Pain without autotune. He's a marvelous singer. You ever see that Tiny Desk concert he did? It's incredible. So Jose also says, I can dream about you, hold me tonight. I can't think of the bridge. It's a great bridge. Oh, hold on. What is the great bridge? Is Elbow one day? I don't know anything about Elbow. I've heard about them. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for everybody's favorite part of the show. Let's get into some viewer pictures. This is the Bashtards Gallery. So for everybody who needs to know about the Bashtards Gallery, this is how you do it. This is how we do it. You send your emails to bashtardirk@gmail.com. You send me pictures of your watches. You send me pictures of your kitties, your doggies, your whatever, the things you love, the cars you love to collect, the motorcycles, your bicycles. Last week was a very bicycle rich week. I'm going to take pictures of my bicycles tonight. I'll have them for tomorrow's show. I have a couple of really beautiful bicycles that I don't take very good care of anymore because I'm just a lazy fuck and I need to do that. So send your emails to bashtardirk@gmail.com. That's the Bastards Gallery, and you share it with me and I share it with the world. We're going to start out. Well, we're not going to start out with that, Dean, because those are for my eyes only. And there are songs ready for this. I'm sorry, my nose is itchy. I don't know what it is. Something blue in my room. I've always been told, my mother used to say, stop touching your face. Here's a perfect example. Where's the bridge, right? I was alone, I didn't ride, I didn't know what I would find there. Ooh, when I suddenly see you, ooh, and I want you near me every single day of my life. Gotta get you into my life. I was alone, I didn't ride, I didn't know what I would find there. They're all hooks. to me, they're all, look, where's the bridge there? They're all this verse and pre-chorus and chorus and there's so many hooks, the Beatles. It's exhausting. It's exhausting how great the Beatles were. Okay, let me start this out with Steve McDonald. Oh, wow, we got some gentlemen, a little illumination with his Seiko. Look at that. Let's blow this bitch up on your very attractive wrist. Nothing better than a masculine watch on a masculine wrist. Perfect size. Look at that, looking great on you. Look at the lume on that bitch. Wow. That is absolutely insane. Oh, here we go again. A little Air King action. Can I blow this up even bigger? Sometimes I can blow these up and sometimes I cannot. That is beautiful. I love the Air King. I love it. That's the corrected Air King. That's the newer one because it's the 05. Because people were crazy that the dial just, they had to match it up. Do you remember the one that had 2 9s on it? Was it 2 9s or 2 6s? It came out of the factory with a mistake. That watch is probably worth a fortune now. Very, very cool, though. Oh, and an Explorer 2. Black dial. Don't see that one as much as the white dial. The Polar, which you see far more often. This watch has got such an incredible following right now. Even Geddy Lee from Rush is wearing a shirt that had the orange hand on it, which is amazing. I like your shirt too. Butterflies. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. I'll finish up the chats, guys, when we're done with the Bastards gallery. Angelo Minichello. Hey, you got some Toikies. I like how the president gives a turkey a presidential pardon every year. Well, they're funny looking beasts, aren't they? And no, I don't eat them. I don't eat any of animal kind. I just don't do it. It just didn't work for me. I'm not one of those vegetarians that gets on the pulpit and tells people what they should and shouldn't do. I go to steakhouses with my friends because I love the wine and I love the sides. I love the cream spinach and the mashed potatoes and I love all that stuff. And I think people should live and let live. However, it wasn't right for me. So I don't eat any animals at all. I just love them. Oh my God, what do we got going on here? There's a picture. Here's Ray Ray with a picture of his mammy. How nice is this? What is this giant obelisk? This you are always in my heart. Oh, that's lovely. What do you got there? What do you got going on there? Oh, Loris. Wow, this is the first Loris ever on the show. God, I remember when Loris was so big. Man, when I was a kid, people wore a lot of Loris. That's a very cool watch to have there, Ray Ray. Oh, and your mom's a beauty. Look at that Irish rose. Oh, my God. What is that, like your version of Siri? Or is that just Friday night? And my first and still... Oh, this is your boat? Hey, look at this. Looky there. Beautiful. Wow. That's a schooner, huh? This is your boat, man? That is absolutely the Celtic Mist. Absolutely beautiful. That is a beautiful boat, man. What does it say over there? The Irish Whale and Dolphin Group. Next time in the West, Ray, next time I'm there, we'll go have a beer and maybe you'll take me out on the high seas. But don't pull a Ripley on me because I'm no Dickie Greenleaf, okay? That is quite beautiful. Thank you so much for that. I love the variety that we get. Here's Ken with his vintage. Is this a vintage khaki? Hold on. Let me see. That looks like vintage khaki to me. Vintage Hamilton military. Look at this. Oh, boy. You know, Dirky loves some vintagey stuff. That is freaking beautiful, man. Oh, and I love it on that orange NATO. I used to hate NATOs, and now I'm a little obsessed with them. That is absolutely perfect. Look at that. What year is that? I wish I knew. I wish I knew that I had a look at that. It's got a little nuclear symbol on there. Holy shit. Wow. You're creating a lot of lust here, Ken, because people love this. Wow. Wow. Is there two here? There's one. Okay. Sorry about that. Something really got in my, I don't know what it is. It's like having a cat hair stuck to your eardrum. Oh, okay. Beautiful. Here's a Connie. These are watches that don't get a lot of love from the Omega fanboys. I myself happen to think that they're beautiful. I especially love the vintage ones. And this is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that green sunburst dial, gold. And it's like a kind of like, it's like an alligator marbleized strap. I'm not familiar with that particular strap. It's quite beautiful. And there's the loom on it. Look at that. Very nice. Thank you so much for that. It's funny how loom has come so far. It really has. 1972 Constellation. You have loom from 1972 that still works. Wow. That's saying something, man. If I'm amazed by that. Shane, you're playing the game. No, you can win, girl. Mickey Thomas, what a sick singer. It's so high. Jesus. Look at this pair of, it's a Tudor and a Panerai. Look at that, the 8-day. Oh, man. 8 days, I should say. Because it's giorni, not giorno. And look at the Tudor. Look at that. It's a nice little combo. Beautiful. Is that two different people? I can't tell. Or are you just double fisting? Ashim was wearing his Panerai yesterday, and I have to say, I know he's got some impressive pieces, but I have to say that the way it sits on him, that watch and I always knew it was going to be, because he's a big masculine guy, son. This is a big masculine watch. You have to be a man of a certain kind of stature to pull this off and pull it off well, and it looks great on him. My father-in-law is obsessed with these right now. I finally got him into it. And now he's like, what about this one? What about this one? I'm like, pick any of them. I love them all. Become a panaristo. Panaristi. Thank you so much for that. We got a couple more. Steve Moreno, hey. Hey, you're in the room. Great to see you. Wow, Speedy Tuesday. Thank you so much. Hello. There we go. A sapphire sandwich for the gang. You can always tell when you're looking at a Speedmaster that the Hesselite has a slightly, distorted view, and they're doing a better job with the sapphire now, but you can always tell by the milky ring. You have to say it in an Irish accent, milky ring around it. This way you can peer into the beautiful movement in these watches. These are gorgeous. And who doesn't love it? Looks great. Perfect size. Perfect on you. Beautiful watch. I mean, Speedmasters are my favorite watches in the whole wide world. I have two favorite watches in the world. My two favorite watches are Speedmaster and Milgauss. My two favorite watches. I like a lot of other ones, but I love those. This is from Dave. Hey, Dave. My grandfather's ship when he was in the military. I love him. Hey, send us vintage pictures. Miami River, Florida. God, you can't. The only time I ever think of Miami is I think of those 50s when it was, like pre-Castro and then kind of birdcage. It's like to think it was once, and it probably still is a big trading community, but it was amazing. There's two pictures here, right? Oh, look at that. It's sideways. Well, sorry. Can I flip this on this screen? I don't think that I can. I should be able to do that. Beautiful boat. Holy shit. I bet you they were running a lot of rum, spices, diamonds. This is before people became drug addicts and idiots, Now people are all just morons, and they, it's not about alcohol and spices. It's about cocaine, and that's a shame. That's the thank you, Des, for sending your email. I'm going to ship that out to you tomorrow morning. Let me just catch up on the chats before we wrap up today's show. Let's see. Dean says, "Spoil sport, Dirk. It's only a potato." Yeah, but they were like potato penises, and did you make those? As clever as they are, there's ladies in the room, and I'm an old fashioned kind of guy. That's just how I work. Oh wait, there's one more. Shane McGurk just sent me a new one. Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. Listen, if you want to get your shot in real quick, send it to bashtardirk@gmail.com. And can I blow this up? Blow it up. First of all, I love when we have a Longines on the show because I love them. I think Longines is one of those brands, and I've said this a couple of times on the channel. Sheen loves them too. We're all fans of Longines. What a rich history. What an incredible brand. They're just not getting the love that they deserve. And they deserve a lot more because of their rich, incredible history. And that is a very, very beautiful watch. And it's big. I don't know what size that is, but is that a 44? I don't know your wrist size, but I'm assuming that's not. I got to brush up on my Longines, but that's beautiful, other than to say how beautiful that I think it is. And thank you for that. Bang, Melly C. What else is new with the postal service? Melly C, I'll send you an email in a minute. At 5, they sent me something at 5:18. Well, I was doing the show, but my bell didn't ring because you would have heard it. That's for sure. I love how they say that they tried to do stuff. But, the post office is closed now. All right, well, I'm here tomorrow. So let me just finish up with this. The Gashman says, Gashman, the Seiko Loom is nuclear. It sure is. Hands, knees, and toes loves that black dial on the Explorer too. Dean's exposing me because I will not show his vegetable X-rated photos. They're dirty. Do you want me to get? All right. You want to be that guy? Okay. Hold on. Let me get him. Okay. I'm going to do it because they're potatoes, but I feel like, okay, there he goes. Potato testicles. You know what that is? Is that a tomato? Tomato? It's just not right. It's just not right. I'm done with you. Don't say I didn't show them because I did, but in a very limited capacity, in a very limited release. If you want to be such a cuckoo bag, you're so funny. Anyway, that's the show, kids. Thanks so much. Remember, here, let me put this back up on here. First of all, let me remind you of my Patreon pantheon. Jim Lassick, Andrew Olkovich, Go Moto Soto, Nick Sisto, Complicated Fergal McDermott, Corrected, Nathaniel Hannon, Dana O'Malley, Lord Scotty H, Dean McKenzie, Al Benedetti, Angelo Minichello, corrected as well, and Gasman 308. Thank you all so much. And for everybody who wants to make a change and stop that mean Maloney lady from taking arts out of the biggest contributor to art in the history of the world, Italy. She's trying to remove it from all these beautiful art schools. She doesn't want any public funding whatsoever. And that just can't be so. Because where are we going to have another Sistine Chapel or another David or any of the Doge's Palace, all these beautiful things, all the beautiful Palladio? These people learned these skills and kids need to learn them too. So you could do that. And also, while we're at it, remember to send tomorrow's pictures to bashtardirk@gmail.com. That's correct. That's bashtardirk@gmail.com. You share it with me. I share it with the world. Shane McG. Cheers, Dirk. 249. Let's give you a... Thank you so very much. I appreciate it all. That's my show for today. 10 minutes over, but hey, it's worth it. I thank you all for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow at the exact same Bash time, same Bash channel. This is Dirk. And remember, always to say please and thank you. Remember to hold the door open. Remember that when you're dealing with a disgruntled person, they just might not be having the same day that you are. Maybe something is happening in their lives. Maybe they've had an incident, or someone's not well, or they themselves are not well. It's either that or they're a total cunt.